$675,000 to the campaign of the spouse of a top FBI official, his wife, who helped oversee the investigation into Mrs. Clinton's illegal email server. So listen to this. The FBI is investigating Clinton, or as I would call her, Crooked Hillary. So they're investigating. And virtually her best friend and absolutely closest ally gives $675,000 in campaign contributions to the woman who's married to the FBI person who's doing the investigation. No wonder they found nothing wrong. How does that look? So dishonest. This represented a large portion of the money the FBI official's spouse had for the purpose of campaigning. This was a tremendous amount of the money, big proportion. We have to investigate the investigation, folks. Our system is rigged. Our system is rigged. She never had a chance of being convicted, even though everybody in this audience, and boy, do we have a lot of people, everybody here knows that she's 100% guilty. Horrible. In more breaking news, a former State Department aide to Hillary Clinton just pleaded the fifth, more than 90 times in a sworn deposition, despite being given immunity by the Obama Justice Department. Do you know how many people have been given immunity, meaning they're not going to be prosecuted? Do you know how many people? Tell me. 5 + 1 probably keeps going. No, this is our country in terms of justice has never reached a lower point than what we're witnessing today. The same aide had previously told the Benghazi committee that he had no knowledge of the server's existence. No knowledge, but he did. But we now learn that this aide not only knew about Hillary's illegal server, but ordered his employees not to discuss its existence. WikiLeaks also shows how John Podesta, a man who speaks badly of Hillary and everybody else, he's a nasty guy. I don't know him. But boy, he speaks bad. He said she has bad instincts. But Bernie said she has bad judgment. So what do you want to put somebody in office who the top people that know him best? They say bad judgment, bad instincts. We're going to make her our president? I don't think so. John Podesta rigged the polls by oversampling. He said do this. By oversampling Democrats. A voter, you see this. You see it all. A voter suppression technique. Podesta, right? Have you heard about this? Just came out. Podesta is also linked to a major Kremlin-backed firm in Russia. You know the way every time Russia's brought up, they say, oh, Trump, what do I have to do with it? And now they're linked. They always like to say, and by the way, how would you like to be? She always likes to tie me in with Russia. I have nothing to do with Russia, folks, okay? I'll give you a written statement. Nothing to do. But they tie me into Russia all the time. They like to tie me into Russia. And they say such bad things about Putin. And then they're supposed to negotiate with Putin? Why would he do this? Folks, we're run by people that are not smart people. Or, to put it To put it a different way, we are run by stupid people. Stupid people. And remember that Hillary Clinton gave Russia 20% of American uranium. And you know, she was paid a fortune. You know, they got a tremendous amount of money. But the corrupt media never talks about these things. They never talk about it. The media also doesn't talk about Hillary's reckless plans for starting a shooting war in Syria that would involve a nuclear-armed Russia. She just has bad judgment. She does bad judgment. If you look at her plans for Syria, these are the plans of a child. These are the plans of a person that doesn't know what she's doing. But look what she's done in Iraq. Look at what she's done anywhere. Look at what she's done in Libya. The level of corruption is so great. Hillary Clinton even got the debate questions in advance from Donna Brazile. She got the debate questions in advance. Think of it. Did you hear this? Hillary Clinton got the debate questions in advance from Donna Brazile. And she knew it was wrong, but never said anything to anyone, but used the questions anyway. She's crooked Hillary, folks. She knew it was wrong. Donna Brazile is now under pressure, but she knew it was wrong, and she should be more guilty than Donna Brazile. She took the questions, knew it was wrong, went out to the debate, had the answers. I mean, how corrupt are we going to get? But the media isn't just against me. They're against all of you. That's what it is. Like Hillary Clinton, they look down on hardworking people within our country. The media is entitled, condescending, and even contemptuous of people who don't share certain elitist views. While the media and politicians celebrate in Washington, D.C., our inner cities crumble, innocent children are shot in the street, and working families who just want to raise can't even get a job or get a break. Hillary raises hundreds of millions of dollars from Wall Street, from foreign governments, and from special interests. All the while, the people she pretends to care about struggle and suffer. She hasn't done anything for anybody but herself, believe me. Just look at what Clinton and her party have done to the inner cities and to the African American and Hispanic communities. They failed them, they've betrayed them, and they've abused them. She has abused the African American community. She has abused the Hispanic community. Terrible. They want the vote. They get the vote. They do nothing, and they say, see you in 4 years. Just like when she ran for the Senate in New York. She ran for the Senate in New York. She said she was going to bring back jobs to upstate New York. We lost jobs. It's a disaster area. It's a disaster area. And it's sad. She lied. She lies more than any human being. They've delivered only more crime, poverty, and joblessness. Murders just experienced their largest single-year increase in the United States in the last 45 years. More murders than we've had in 45 years. We're going to turn it all around. We're going to fight for rural America, urban America, suburban America, because we are all one America. The forgotten men and women won't be forgotten anymore. Forgotten men and women. I see you, I hear you, and I will never, ever let you down, I promise. We will never let you down. I will be your voice, and I will fight harder than anybody has ever fought for you before, and I will win, because I know how to win. I proposed a contract with the American voter that will give the government back to the people where it belongs. My contract with the American voter begins with a plan to end the rampant government corruption and to put special interests and donors out of business as we know it today. And by the way, who knew the other side of the picture better than me? I knew it. And I saw that our country was going so bad, so fast. This isn't easy to do, folks. This is a lot of work. This is hard. I built a great, great company, some of the great assets in the world, and here I am. But I have to tell you, our movement is being talked about all over the world because it's a movement of common sense and it's a movement of making America great again. Remember that. I want everyone in Washington to hear the words I've said and that I'm about to say. If we win on November 8th, we are going to Washington, D.C., and we are going to drain the swamp. Under my contract with the American voter, on my first day in office, my administration will immediately pursue the following reforms to stop government corruption, of which there is a lot. Term limits on all members of Congress. A hiring freeze on non-essential federal employees, but not the military. The military, we are going to make bigger, stronger. We need a strong military. For every new federal regulation, regulations are putting our businesses out of business. 2 old federal regulations will be eliminated. For every new one, they have to get rid of 2. A 5-year ban on lobbying by executive branch and congressional officials. They're not going to be too happy. A lifetime ban on government officials lobbying for a foreign government. A complete ban on foreign lobbyists raising money for American elections. Contract. I'm also going to take the following actions on day one to protect the American worker. That's why I did this in the first place. I saw what was happening. We're losing our jobs like a bunch of babies. We're going to renegotiate NAFTA or leave the deal. We'll withdraw, and we will make a brand new, far superior deal. It's a two-way street. We're losing our jobs. We're losing our country. It's got to be a two-way street. Moving to Mexico. They're moving everywhere but here. We're going to withdraw from the Trans-Pacific Partnership. A disaster. A disaster. We're going to label China. I have a great relationship with China. In China, we can win. We have the cards. Our people don't know that. We are going to label China a currency manipulator, which is what they're doing. They're taking our business. They're taking our jobs. They're making our product, and so are plenty of others. And I have no problem with China. I have no problem with their leaders doing what they're doing. What I have a problem with is our leaders allowing them to get away with this stuff. I have a real problem taking our jobs. We're going to enforce all violations of trade rules that hurt United States workers, of which there are many. Lift the restrictions on the production of American energy. We're going to approve energy infrastructure projects like the Keystone Pipeline and many more. Additionally, on the first day, I will take the following actions to restore the rule of law and order. I will cancel every illegal Obama executive order. We will appoint great justices to the United States Supreme Court. We'll cancel all federal funding to sanctuary cities. We will begin removing all criminal illegal immigrants from our country. Do you know when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, they would catch a murderer, drug lords, gang members, violent criminals, and they'd bring them back to their country, where they came from. Hillary Clinton was told that their country won't take them. So she said, oh, that's okay, bring them back. We don't want to create waves. Who can blame their country? So they brought them back, they put them back on the streets, and that's where we are now. I can guarantee you one thing. Whether it's 4 years or 8 years, never once will that happen to the United States. When we bring them back, they're back. And when you hear about the highest murder rate in 45 years, there's a lot of reasons for it, but that's one of them. We're going to suspend immigration from regions comprised. Think of this. Think of this. Hard to believe. By Islamic terrorism, including the suspension of the Syrian refugee program. We're allowing thousands of people. We don't know who they are, where they're from. We know nothing about them. Thousands and thousands are pouring into our country. And crooked Hillary Clinton wants to allow a 550% increase. We have enough problems. It'll be the great Trojan horse. The great Trojan horse. Next, I will work with Congress to introduce these 10 legislative measures and fight for their passage within the first 100 days of my administration. They include repealing and replacing Obamacare, a tax cut for all middle-class families, a big one. And by the way, Hillary Clinton is going to raise your taxes substantially. You take a look. Tariffs on companies that outsource American jobs. The companies leave, they fire their employees. We're not going to let it happen any longer. They call it the greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. Greatest jobs theft, think of it. Legislation to provide school choice, which the labor unions, the unions don't want to allow. And we're going to end Common Core and bring our education local. Going to authorize $1 trillion in new public-private infrastructure. That is going to be so important. Projects that will be funded include repairing the Herbert Hoover Dike in Lake Okeechobee, which is affecting everybody in Florida, which has been years and years I mean, you look at our bridges, you look at our tunnels, you look at our roads and highways, you look at our hospitals and schools, we're in bad shape. You know, our national debt has doubled since Obama became president. So it's gone up $10 trillion. So we're now going to be $20 trillion. And a bad factor, we haven't done anything. Our roads are bad, our schools are bad, our highways, our tunnels, our bridges are falling down. You see those reports, they're dangerous, many of them. So we're going to get our infrastructure taken care of. It's going to be, we have to do it for our country. Legislation to immediately begin the wall and impose tough penalties. We're going to build the wall. We're going to build the wall. 100%. Who is going to pay for the wall? 100%. They don't know it yet, but they're paying for it. Thousands of Americans have been killed by illegal immigrants, including Americans like Josh Wilkerson, whose mother I've gotten to know very well through the Remembrance Project, which is amazing, amazing people. Josh, a student in a high school, wonderful student, loved by everybody, was tortured, strangled, and beaten to death by an illegal immigrant, and then his body was set on fire. This was somebody that shouldn't have been in the country. They had chances to get him out of the country, but they never. I've also met Julie Goldvac, whose son Spencer was shot in the head by an illegal immigrant. Spencer had just dropped his girlfriend off, was driving innocently home, and was brutally murdered by somebody that should have never, ever been in our country. This crime wave ends when I become President of the United States. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. We are going to protect our country, and we are going to protect our children. We're going to create tax-free child care savings accounts, which is going to be amazing. Increase funding for local police. For our military and for our own good, we are going to eliminate the Obama-Clinton defense sequester. We don't put the money into our military anymore at a time when we need it as bad as ever before. The rebuilding of our military will include major new assets across the state of Florida, including new Navy and Coast Guard ships to patrol the seas, new advanced manufacturing on Florida's Space Coast, and new aircraft that will fly from MacDill Air Force Base and Naval Air Station, Pensacola. We know that. We're going to set high standards for ethics reforms to end government corruption, of which we have plenty. With a victory in November, everything will change. Just think about what we can accomplish in this 100-day period. We will accomplish so much for our country that we all love. We are going to have the biggest tax cut since Ronald Reagan. Eliminate every unnecessary job-killing regulation. Support the men and women of law enforcement. We're going to save the Second Amendment, which is totally under siege, and appoint justices to the United States Supreme Court who will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. I will end the wasteful government spending and hold the bureaucrats accountable. I will faithfully execute the sacred office of Commander-in-Chief and create a new foreign policy that always, always, always will put our country first, America first. When I'm president, the big government will no longer threaten to wash away our dreams, our jobs, and our freedoms. We must be united so that we can save this country, the country that we love, and have a rebirth of American liberty and prosperity. We need a rebirth. Headed so wrong, folks. This is why I'm doing this. I'm going to fight for every last citizen in this nation. I'm going to fight to bring us all together as Americans. Just imagine what our country could accomplish if we started working together